So I didn't think that we'd be talking about this today, but I kind of can't ignore it at this point. I've expressed before that I have some issues with gratuitous doom posting or fake pity, but what I have always stood by is that it is people's right to fully explain why they don't like something with the full strength of their analytical skill or raw passion. There has been a discussion of discussions happening about K-pop YouTubers this past year, and a great deal of it boils down to just say you don't like it and move on, or if you know you won't like it, don't listen to it. Stop spending 20 minutes talking about it. And when Pink Venom came out about 2 weeks ago, people came into my comment section to say, ugh, I can already hear her writing her 500-word essay. I can already hear her talking for 20 minutes about her hate for Blackpink. Do you guys not realize how often you move the goalpost when it comes to K-pop YouTuber content? Just a few clicks ago, saying, I don't like it, bye, and nothing else was actually unacceptable. People trashed the one-sentence K-pop opinions trend because it didn't have any nuance or analysis to its statements. I get people constantly nitpicking my sentences, things like, you can't just call a melody dry and not explain yourself, what does that even mean? And when I don't spend a good 500 words declassifying a piece of analysis, I get taken out of context and attacked. It used to be that unnuanced criticism and blanket statements were no good, but now there's an entirely new brand that says using too many words to explain yourself is also bad because it makes you obsessive and cringy and nitpicky, where people are literally demanding less nuance. And it's always soaked in that classic, criticism is fine, but everyone has a different grading rubric that pigeonholes music discussion into hate one way or another, until they've weaseled out any way to talk about a group that isn't blind praise. But somehow it's the people who take the time to properly explain themselves that need to shut up. Let's be genuine here. You would not like if I posted a 16-second video saying, I didn't like it, bye. This new angle of conversation isn't because people want a flurry of one-sentence videos. They want me to stop talking entirely unless I'm praising their group. If you are the type to say, just say you don't like it and move on, or don't listen if you know you won't like it, maybe you should practice what you preach and stop watching K-pop YouTube videos if you can't handle that someone might have more than 5 critical words to say about something. My channel has always been like this. I've always taken my time to explain myself. It's you guys who keep changing what the acceptable word count is. Well, not everything needs an essay. Why not? And why are you the one who decides what deserves an essay? I like essays. I like expressing myself. And you are not the one who gets to decide at what point I've used up my word limit. Maybe you should save the 500-word essays for something you like. I do. I do all the time. I do for 20, 30, 40, 60 minutes at a time. But then you tell me that I only huff negativity on a criticism video you clicked on, which tells me you don't really give a damn about the positive or passionate videos being made. You're the #1 customer when it comes to videos you don't like, and then you preach that people should stop making them. The goalpost changes all the time, because at the end of the day, too many people inherently despise that other people don't like a thing they like, and will weasel whatever they can to shut others up. One day it's, you didn't express yourself enough. God, you need to explain yourself. And the next it's, you expressed yourself too much. God, it's not really that important, is it? Come on, Goldilocks, what's the right amount? Because I bet the second I find it, you're going to tell me that's too much, too little, or not good at all. There's no way for me to do this peaceably. So for this video, let me be clear. Whenever Blackpink comes back, it's a big deal. These comebacks happen years apart, they get millions of views in minutes, they black out the comeback season for weeks or even months at a time. And yet the second I go to make a review and I say anything, people tell me I've built a channel for Blackpink hate, that I make obsessive essays, that I should really just focus on the groups I like, and you might as well just tell me I'd be prettier if I smiled more. When On the Ground came out, I said I liked it. I gave it a B, and I got told that the few criticisms I did give were just more evidence that my channel is a cesspit of Blackpink negativity and a safe haven for haters, and that's why I didn't review La Lisa on my channel. I got told that my channel would be so much nicer if I could just focus for once on the groups that I like, as if I don't do that all the time, including for Blackpink. Yes, my Blackpink critique videos may be the ones that you know, but that's because they're the ones you click on. I make long-form videos analyzing and praising groups I like, and then I get told that my channel is devoted to hate because a handful of videos where I talk about my opinion are more popular. There's all this chatter right now about how negative K-pop YouTube is, about how awful K-pop YouTubers are when groups come back, which is then upheld by you ignoring every positive or neutral video and only clicking on the things that enrage you. Now we're not even allowed to talk about popular releases without being painted as negative soul-sucking vampires. If you put this in the context of other niches, it sounds ridiculous. It's absurd to imagine someone going into Cosmonaut's comments section and saying, well, if you know you don't like Star Wars media, you should just stop reviewing it, because it's expected that people who engage in a niche would make videos about major releases in said niche. No one tells Marcus not to review Morbius because we know he won't like it. It's expected that he'll review it anyway. It's expected that he will review popular stuff. Here's the deal. If Blackpink is going to continue being called a popular girl group, then the populace is allowed to receive and review their output, even if it's less than blind praise. If the populace is no longer allowed to talk about Blackpink unless it's blind praise, then they don't get to be called popular. You don't get both. When someone doesn't fall over themselves to like the thing you think they should, your first thought should be, more for me, not shut up and stop existing because someone might use your video in a mean Twitter thread. So if it will cause you pain or upset to hear criticisms about a release, this is your sign to log off. This is your warning, properly disclaimed. Dead dove, do not eat. Okay, done. Let's talk about Pink Venom. This review is divided into sections. The spicy section with the bulk of my review of the song, the sweet section where I will be doing kind of an update to my Why You Can't Look Away from Blackpink video about their cinematography now that we have this new music video, and the savory section where I'll talk a bit about the upcoming album. Timestamps will be in the description. I am so excited. Let's go. For me, I would say this song slots right in the middle for Blackpink releases. I like it more than Kill This Love, maybe about as much as How You Like That. Actually, no, I think I like it more than How You Like That. Usually Blackpink has good verses, amazing pre-choruses and bridges, and a kind of negligible chorus, but here they all played musical chairs and swapped impact. These verses are just a bit flatter than I'm used to from Blackpink. The rhythm and lyrics felt a little dry, and the melodies were pretty much one note unless they were referencing another famous song. Name dropping and references are a totally normal part of songwriting. They're cute, they're super fun, but Pink Venom doesn't have quite the right balance and kind of falls into one of the major media no-nos. It's a good rule of thumb not to remind your viewer of all the different entertainment they could be consuming right now unless you can deliver something equal or better. You guys know that I am a Jisoo bias womb to tomb, so I do have to briefly address the lack of Rosé in Jisoo. This feels like a subunit song with two unmemorable features. In the music video, Rosé is regularly glancing at her feet because she just has nothing to do. I wasn't super wowed by the pre-chorus. I felt the melody was a little boring and the string riff was kind of flaccid, and these club-like drums added in the second half are just too predictable and it de-escalated the build-up for me. Blackpink songs normally feel really connected and fluid, but that isn't really the case here. This pre-chorus is forcing the vocals to carry all of the weight, and while the delivery is rich and full, it can't make up for some of the production. Rosé is the perfect voice for what Blackpink does, and she can usually power up a lesser line, but I feel like they just gave her nothing to work with this time around. Jisoo in particular is left to flounder, and neither are given a chance to really enjoy the best part of the song, which is, in my opinion, the chorus. For everyone excusing the lack of Rosé and Jisoo because this was a rap-focused song, I think you are doing them a disservice. The major rap section of this song has Baby's first rap battle verses over an old school hip-hop beat shift, and it kind of comes out of nowhere. And while I think the idea is charming, the delivery is jarring and it just feels a little silly. These are some silly raps with the Ice Ice Baby Vandal Candle rhyme. The lyrics are just goofy. I'm surprised they didn't say something like, I'm a coconut tree, I'm dropping hit after hit, you better make like a banana and split. The best part of the rap is this adorable shot in the video. Okay, so I know a lot of you are not gonna agree with me on this, but this chorus was so catchy. Blackpink are normally hard and loud, but Pink Venom has this teasing minimalist drop, and it is the best part of the song in my opinion. It's such an instant addictive earworm, even though the lyrics are apparently written by Tyler Kupiker from Gravity Falls.
Get him! 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 Get him!
The bare minimum riff actually does them a favor in this chorus, and I love the way Lisa delivers her lines. Venom is a very cool biological defense, and I love how this chorus stings when Lisa hits the measure. I, until this day, had never seen Lisa's forehead. This is my first time. I actually couldn't figure out why I was so hypnotized by her in the second chorus. I was like, she looks so fresh and beautiful. What is different? Until I realized she didn't have her bangs. I can see her forehead. I think she looks so cute with the bangs out of her face. In my opinion, Lisa suits this chorus perfectly. Jennie is obviously up to snuff, and when we start with Jennie and transition into Lisa, it sounds amazing. But when she follows Lisa in the second chorus, there's a feeling of something lost. Lisa's delivery is brighter than Jennie's, saucier, even a bit happier, and she brings a sense of excitement and tease to the chorus, while Jennie's delivery feels a little more subdued and seductive. Because that brightness energizes the song, it's obvious to me that Rosé would have done extremely well in the second chorus. Rosé is the only member who can rival Lisa in brightness. I'm remembering How You Like That and how all the members got to punch in during the chorus because it had two parts to it, and it made the song sound more colorful and exciting. Pink Venom could use that feeling of variety and team chemistry. The final chorus is, whatever. I personally don't like it, but that's because I really like this main chorus and I just wanted more of it, so I'm biased. These main choruses are just very fun and coquettish and a little vain. I like it. This is the sweet section. So in this section, I wanted to do sort of an update to my Why You Can't Look Away from Blackpink video, where I talked in depth about their cinematography and the members' individual cinematic appeals. If you haven't seen that video, this section will not make too much sense, so I do recommend checking that out if you haven't. Pink Venom uses a high number of nude and neutral shades, which is a little uncommon for Blackpink. In my experience, Blackpink is normally a neon sign of rainbow tones and black shades, but here we have browns and creams and eggshells and dust colors in almost every scene. Sometimes a shade here and there in the background to amp up the power colors, sometimes an entire scene is colored in matte browns and creams. The lighting also uses a lot less flash and whiteout and maintains a constant level of contrast. This video has a lot of black and a lot of brown and isn't flashing its highlights directly in your eyes. I think all of this went perfectly with the minimalist drop in the chorus and brought out the sassy, lurking strike of Pink Venom. Pink Venom feels very editorial, dramatizing its studio sets and putting its hands in a few different types of girl crush concepts. I'm going to go through each member one by one and talk about how their cinema presents itself in Pink Venom, starting with none other than Jisoo. First of all, I said in my video last year that Jisoo reminds me of a cinematic vampire. I directly compared her cinematography to Lucy the Vampire from Coppola's Dracula and talked on and on specifically about her being a vampire. And then Pink Venom comes out and I was like, wait, did they actually do a direct vampire scene? And yes, they did. In the behind the scenes video for Pink Venom, Jisoo said the concept for her moon scene was vampires. You heard it here. Jisoo watches my YouTube channel. Okay, I'm just kidding. Obviously she doesn't, but I am so happy. It just kind of feels like confirmation, like they were heading this way with her, and I love vampires and I love Jisoo, so I'm very, very happy today, if you can't tell. Jisoo, our resident creature of the night, is once again dressed in black. She commands a crowd of hooded onlookers from her place inside an electric rhomboid cage. As the member of mystery and nobility, she hauntingly plays the gumungo in a sprawling ceremonial dress. This room is lost in a deep black void, and her worshippers are barely lit by snaking cords of electric pink. This scene combines that ancient gothic style Jisoo is known for with a creepy techno-pagan appeal that brings a new sense of futurism to her cinema. Long flowing dark hair over a long flowing dark dress. A few glittery details like beadwork and flowers add pops of color to her dripping black drama. Normally Jisoo is the member whose face emerges from shadows, but this video blankets her in a bright overhead key light, casting dark shadows off her forehead and collarbones. I kind of disagree with them breaking her usual shadow motif, as this overhead shot wouldn't look good with anyone. Overpowering her with light from above makes Jisoo look very skeletal, and while she is usually the member with a supernatural allure, this lighting choice starves her dry. In her second scene, Pink Venom directly compares Jisoo to the moon and lights her in lunar blue and ghostly red. Here, the video creatively uses colored light as a one-to-one stand-in for shadow and highlight. Blue is shadow and red is highlight, and the video recreates Jisoo's vampiric motif using the mystical impression of the moon. This is a much more satisfying way to light her than the earlier stark white stadium lights. The scene feels creepy and ancient with its stone architecture, clouds of pink smoke, and twisting trees and throne. She wears a ghostly pale dress and dark hair twisting from one shoulder to the floor. The delicate folds of her bodice and sleeves contrast with her sharp, dark talons. Jisoo is at home in the night, and her eye contact draws the viewer into a trance. Jennie's opening scene puts her right up against her traditional power colors, like her iconic Jennie Crimson and her darker navy blues. Jennie is the member of strength, style, and power, and best matches the group's overall vibe with her chic fashion, spotlight magnitude, and editorial colors. This scene emphasizes her aggressive fashionista persona. Jennie bursts into the video on a monster truck and steps out onto a brilliant red carpet. Spotlights revolve around her as she lays it on the camera. Her hair is braided into a sleek crown, and the thick red fabric over her mouth and nose bring your attention right to her eyes. Jenny's appeal surrounds her in man-made luxury, shining metal horns, high-end fashion and jewelry, runways and spotlights, and a custom truck. Jenny wears a lot of fun outfits in this video: boisterous, sexy red and stylish race car black. Her styling shows off Jenny's two sides, dominant and adorable. In one scene, she wears an eggshell and cream outfit with long extended ponytails and diamond freckles, and she melts the scene with her slow broiling heat. In another, she wears a big patch jacket, blue leotard, tall rubber boots, and long flicks of hair dotted with red bows. This outfit is chic and a little girlfriendy, and while I've never seen any other idol wear something like this before, it feels very K-pop. The camera pops around her, catching her sharp hand movements and head tilts. Jenny's camera work is usually really playful and personalized, but the constant cutting in Pink Venom makes it really hard to see if there was any design to her camera work. Most of the camera work in this video is destroyed by the boring blip burp editing, and where Jenny's scenes are normally a partnership between her charisma and the camera's unique personality, this video cuts between random slow motion shots, repetitive shots at different setups, unfinished movements, and boring backward dollies. Even in the frenetic rap section, the camera does nothing to play with her or capture her best moments. Jenny is naturally charming and powerful enough to handle her own, but the camera work is one of her best cinematic elements, and whoever edited this video killed it for her. Rosé. Rosé is both the most on-brand and most off-brand member in Pink Venom. She is the member of romance and emotion. She's the member surrounded by sky, storm, and clouds, and her cinema is that of an elemental goddess. Her defining cinematic elements are focus and weightless floating. In Pink Venom, rack focus and a shallow depth of field send her face in and out of visibility. Flashes of lightning obscure her body and pale hair. Her hair, dress, and hands float through the roiling black clouds. Air is Rosé's defining natural element, but the scene also sees her dipping her hands in a strange black lake, pulsing with its own life. The scene feels primordial and alarming, the hunting grounds of a dark, disturbed goddess. In her second scene, her anger has frozen over in a cavern of ice and lava. Rosé is usually surrounded by softer, passionate pinks, but here an unusual combination of fire red and steel grays enters her palette. Brutal red light over her skin-tight black dress breaks her coating completely. However, this is a break I like because it shows a new side to Rosé's painting of emotions, smoldering anger. In the past, Rosé's negative emotions were presented by tears and misery, but in Pink Venom, this iced-out berry-colored anger is both beautiful and fitting. A tunnel of wind sends her hair storming around her face, and the camera has only seconds of clarity to catch her expressions before she moves out of focus. This is a vibrant, angry take on everything Rosé, and I love it. However, one of the video's worst decisions was to give her this guitar. Like Jisoo, an important part of Rosé's appeal is her steady, passionate eye contact. Her cinema emphasizes her eyes, but here she's staring down at the strings, which breaks off her best way of capturing the audience. She's also touching her face all the time. There's so many obstructions in front of her best cinematic feature. I also think it was a huge mistake to braid her hair. There's so much wind happening in all of her scenes, and watching her hair fly around like crazy is one of her best visual appeals. But the knockout star of Pink Venom is Lisa. Her glossy auburn hair and freed forehead shocked me, and I couldn't look away from her. She has a short adventure scene set in a hidden temple, and the spider cracks in the glass, sliding stone doors, and spooky Halloween apples give a sense of unpredictability and gamble. Her temple set features gold light, pink petals, and brown bark against another nude palette of stone and glass. Her styling is piecewise and asymmetrical, bringing that unpredictable Lisa flair. Though I like the occasional sad Lisa in Stay or Lovesick Girls, she really does best when she's either kicking your teeth in or bearing her own. In Blackpink videos, Lisa is the collector of odd jobs and discarded objects, like junkyards, buses, video games, science equipment, and tools. In Pink Venom, she carries a chunky boombox, dances around tin trash cans, and raps out of a busted vintage car. We see more of Lisa's costume play in Pink Venom, getting to play both a savvy Tomb Raider and a stylish vagabond in an urban junkyard. Her outfits in the group shots are the most diverse and exciting, with the most colors and cuts and layers. Opposing fabrics, patterns, and palettes are stitched together, tied together, wrapped around each other. In the first chorus, she brings sandstone, plastic black, and cinnamon. In the second, a camo pattern in lemon, jam, bubblegum, and black is randomly cut together with an alpine, almost polyethylene material, while her olive crop top drips a cold pink sash. Ballet strings tied around one arm, rainbow eyeshadow, and her hair up in braided buns makes her a collage of splatter art. This blushing fairy tale makeup is so different for Lisa, but different is what Lisa does. I was astounded by how good and fresh she looked in this video. Pink Venom brings us that wildcard style that makes Lisa, Lisa. Unfortunately, Lisa's most distinct cinematic element is editing, so once again, another crucial visual piece is scrubbed out by whoever cut this video together. Apart from a few good tricks here and there, the editing has almost nothing to say about Lisa's unique charisma and abandons her best moments halfway through. But what we did get was a lovely combination of Lisa and Jennie. Where Blackpink videos usually contrast Jennie's sleek man-made with Lisa's scrappy man-made, Pink Venom brings them together. While Jennie doesn't get the odd bits and bobs that Lisa does, she gets to work it in the leather interior of a junk car, and the two dance their hearts out in front of the blazing neon signs and pink caution tape. This is the Savory Section. Usually, after reviewing a, dare I say, formulaic Blackpink single, I have this whole section where I fret about the future. Besides a general passion for music, there are other reasons I worry about the continuous lack of creative freedom for Blackpink, usually in the form of implications about the group's future and the direction of the group in general. But this time I just don't feel that much doom or gloom. Let me tell you why. When How You Like That came out, it was bada bing and beat drop and Teddy Patty's secret formula. It wasn't a terrible song, but it worried me that we were about to get an album of the same thing we've always seen. And what did we actually get? One of the best Blackpink eras featuring one of their most wholesome, vocal-heavy singles. How You Like That was resetting the brand after a year of absence, reminding everybody what Blackpink do best before launching us all into something new. Lovesick Girls was different and melodic and genuine and so much fun. I'm totally content to see these expected hype songs as pre-releases and B-sides, so the major single can be something daring and unique and special for them. This way, everybody gets the best of both worlds, a hype song that everyone expects and does a million views a minute, and a more creative, heartfelt song that tries a new sound, even if it isn't an instant streaming hit. So far, Pink Venom serves the same purpose as How You Like That, resetting the brand before bringing in the big kill. After 2 years of absence, it's everything we know Blackpink to be. The badass girl crush concept, the gun dance, the EDM drop and chant chorus, but with a little minimalist twist that I really like. So I'm excited for the upcoming album. I do hope that they skip doing a ballad song this time. While they're not particularly heinous, they are very obviously filler on Blackpink albums. I want every song on this album to feel full and worthy of the 2 years spent on hiatus. I would love another comeback in the Lovesick Girls concept, but I would also love something totally new and different. Like, can you imagine Blackpink in a K-pop quirky concept? Actually, I can't imagine that at all. Never mind. Let me know what kind of songs you want and what kind of songs you expect to get. And I think, most likely the next time we talk about Blackpink, it will be their second studio album. Talk to you guys soon.